Jeno Yoweri Kaguta Museveni ebigambo si birungi gyali ebikolobero byaludde ebbanga eddene ng'akola ku bannayuganda ng'alowooza tewali amukwatako yayita Saabalwanyi kaakati nno bamukutte waluma.
Campaigning, kulabisa, as some of you say, we've done a lot of it. We've done several demonstrations which have exhibited that Ugandans can be resilient. We now need to sharpen, organize a final blow to really get even the people who are conscious in that movement. There are people who cannot support us directly, but they are conscious that the country needs to be built. They are conscious that the country needs another direction. After 40 years of this brutal man, there are people we feel who will be key, but we need to organize. We cannot organize one event that is out with an entrenched man like Museveni, but we need to organize a multitude of approaches. And this multitude of approaches, we should be able to win by synergy, not only one way. By synergy means so many things will be done simultaneously or concurrently or in an ascending order, but ultimately they get him to fail. And he should know that really have failed. And now the issue will remain with us. How do we build our country from what we've set? And one of the eminent men have found out that if we can steer satire or laughter for this man and craft our way through carefully, but assertively, we can get him out. But as all of you who are here know, non-violent, you have to put your whole heart in it. We have to be super alert. We have to be at our best. That's all we need to embark on right now. We're not waiting for any other date. We have today and tomorrow, and really move towards getting the man out. We can do it. Let us not undermine ourselves. One or two of us or three, I'm telling you, there is one of us who is a key to open up this thing. And we end this misery we see in our country. But I'm calling all of you to really come together, unite the Ugandans with love, so we create hope and build our country with love. I think other than that, there is nothing which is we're gonna tell our kids, our brothers who are coming that we saw the misery, but how will we tell them? What will we say? We need to say, we saw the misery, we kicked it out, please maintain, and never ever see a scenario like this. Thank you, members. I know I've gone past time, but thank you for being here. Let us unite and give hope to Ugandans. Love ourselves, be in solidarity. And we will
Thank you, Mr. Everest.
Thank you so much. Actually, one of those, the unity for me is something that I was going to mention, that of course the opposition unity and strategy, those are things we need to develop a clear plan, for our voters, the mobilization, education and protection. But that's a topic for another day. Yes. Thank you so much, brother. Guys, we are drawing to a close. Let's allow brothers and sisters. Okay, I know Joe, I think you won't mind, let Maria come in, and then Joe, you come in. Comrade Godfrey, you will come in. Comrade James, you will come in. Yes, Sister Maria. Please come in and speak to us. What's on your mind, sister? If you can please unmute, you have to touch the mic to open. Yeah, good.
Did she open it?
Smile.
Okay. we can hear a faint voice coming in.
Jebaleko, sister, please speak a bit louder.
Yes, mumpulira.
Tukuwulira
Tukuwulira nyabo.
Oh, sorry. Mbadde manyi nkyali mu mute, nsaba kunsonyiwa. Neyanza nnyo neyanzeega omukisa guno olwaleero. Musibye mutya eyo olwaleero oba akawungeezi kabayisizza batya? Nsooka okwetonda last week Saturday naliko ku mukutu naye nenzija nga njagala okuteesa amasannyalaze ne gavaako we twali, so I couldn't make it. Ne mpulira bubi ne ŋŋamba kanninde ate olunaku olulala. Tweyanziza nnyo abateesa mwenna, abateesiteesi ba miitingi eno, bannange mwebale kutuzzaamu maanyi era mwebalenga kututeekateeka bulungi ne tusobola okubeera awamu nga tugabana ku kye tulina okukola 2026. Nsookera ddala okwongereza ku kigambo kya Brother Kato, alina kye yayogedde awo ng'agamba nti omukulembeze waffe omulungi Robert Kyagulanyi Ssentamu ennaku zino atalaaga ebitundu, ebiseera ebyo yali Kisoro, Ludawa n'ebitundu ebirala ebiddako, naye teyaliiko wadde MP n'omu amutambulirako, wadde omu bw'ati gw'atambula naye kwezo rallies z'atambulirako, ekitali kituufu. Tetumanyi nsonga ki gye balina kutuwa, tetumanyi buzibu ki bwe balina. Okay, tetusobola kubajajinga kubanga ekyamazima kyo tulowooza okuba nti tekyandibadde bwe kityo, nti twandibadde tukolera wamu ffenna. So n'olw'ensonga eyo, ekyo sigenda kukirwako ate era sigenda kubeera muteesa nnyo alwawo wano, naye nga ekirala kye ngenda okuzzaako ne waliwo sisita avuddeko awo ayogedde n'agamba nti twandibadde tutuula ne tuteesa butya bwe tugenda okutambula oba bwe tugenda okutandika, kubanga almost next year etuuse, tusigazaayo omwezi gwa nkya okutandika okweteekateeka engeri gye tugenda okutandikamu kampeyini zaffe, n'engeri gye tugenda okulaba nga tukuba abalabe abatuliraanyi oba okulaba engeri gye tusobola okuba nga tuyitawo. Nze mbadde ndowooza nnyo nti nga bwe tuli wano, nsuubira tuliwo abantu bangi ate nga ffenna tuva mu bitundu eby'enjawulo, era nandibadde ndowooza nti tugenda tukwatagane ne bannaffe abava mu bitundu eby'ebule n'ebweyi ebitali bimu, tulabe naddala ffe abamu abali okumpi ne Uganda, kubanga right now wenjogerera nze ndi Nairobi, nti tusobola okuteesa ne tulaba butya bwe tugenda okwetaba mu campaign, kubanga geno gye tuli tetusobola kukolerayo campaign ne kimala bumazi okuleka okwogera obwogezi, naye ng'abamu tujja kubisitukiramu n'ebigere tugende ku ground tusobole okukola campaign, tulabe butya bwe tutuuka mu kukyusa eggwanga lyaffe okulijja we liri. So ebyo bye byange, siina nnyo bingi byakwogera, neeyanziza nnyo neeyanzeege abawuliriza abalungi.
So yeah, briefly, she's just recognizing the fact that the current tour by the elected president of Uganda, Robert Kyagulanyi Ssentamu, she has not seen any MPs actively at any one point participating in the tour, and she's challenging that there should be maybe some kind of explanation what exactly happened. and she was agreeing with what I said before. Yep. Dorcas, you said who was next? Mr. Joe, my brother Joe.
Yes, comrade.
We are always ready for you, brother.
Okay.
Spill that wisdom, brother.
Thank you very much, comrade. Reginald, thank you very much, comrade Dorcas, and all the speakers before me. So we've been in and out. Again, that is given the nature of our the work we do. I think I'll not even. My middle name might as well be mobilization. I really think that is the mantra: mobilization, mobilization, mobilization. Ladies and gentlemen, we've done it. We've done lots of demonstrations. We've exposed the regime. We still need to do that. We keep going. However, I think now we need to move to the next stage. And I think that is where we are. So the critical phase where we are now is mobilization. I know people are talking about 2026. Of course, personally, I do not think that is the path to take. But what is the alternative? We need and we must always offer a credible alternative. And I really think that Museveni right now is in a very, very weak position. We know that he's very exposed. He's heavily sanctioned. He's isolated. Seeing from, he's very, very isolated, not only from by the international actors, but also on the domestic level. I mean, even his fellow NRM, the so-called historicals, have completely, I think, they've dissociated themselves from what Museveni is doing. That was not the purpose. That was not the direction of their revolution. So I think they feel left down. So Museveni is in a very, very weak position. But also we as a movement, we've made quite some progress, and I think right now where we are, we need to consolidate what we're doing in terms of mobilization. The people on the ground are very, very ready, ladies and gentlemen. They are very, very ready. It is just up to us to give the signal. Right now, I think we have a very good trigger, and that is the coffee debate, the coffee amendment bill that has enraged so many, because Museveni, here again, he comes to steal people's coffee. Coffee is grown in the central, in the south, that is Masaka regions, in the east, in Bugisu, Sebei sub-regions, in the north and in the west. So this is an issue that can coalesce the whole of the country, and it is very, very timely. So what we need to do is to continue to mobilize. And I really think, as I've been saying, what is your mobilization plan? I think Mugenyi hinted on this. So it is not just, when we talk of mobilization, let it not just be abstract. Let it just not be an idea, but let it be an action. So what is your mobilization plan? If we called upon you, if we blew the whistle now, if we drummed now, how many people would you put on the street? How many people are you able to deploy? Each one of us is capable of mobilizing, at least having 10 people. Have you done that? If you haven't done, what are you waiting for? Can we do it now? So really going forward, everybody should have an activation. Should have a mobilization cell that can just be activated as and when called upon. That is what needs to be done. Over and above that, we also need resources. Mobilization has operational costs, has logistical costs. These resources are needed, and we are not going to, we can hope for a good Samaritan. This has to come from within our own resources. We need, to contribute towards, for example, travel expenses. There's lodging and accommodation. People who are mobilizing, sometimes they have to go to a different area. So they may need to, accommodation. There is communication and airtime. They need data, to do their work. They need meals. They need feeding. So these are the costs, and they cannot be borne just by a few people. All of us must come together and support. So this is what needs to be done. And I think in concluding, let me give you my assurances. People, the state of mobilization is very, very, very strong. People are very, 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 very encouraged, and they are very positive, and they are very receptive. And it is a matter of time for our country is liberated. But it cannot be done without your support, without your effort. Each one of us must play a part from their respective positions. So do what you can in terms of mobilizing people back home. Every one of us can do that. But also, in terms of mobilizing resources, let's do that. We have a clear plan, but that is going to be communicated. But we must all do what we can. Otherwise, rejecting the 2026 elections pathway, you must provide a credible alternative. And what is that? It is this mobilization. This is what is going to stop Museveni. I mean, he has been killing. November 18th to 20th reminds us, it is a stark reminder of what awaits each one and every one of us. And those on the ground who are opposing the regime, they're also going to be killed. So how do we stop this? The only way we can stop this is by mobilizing and removing this regime. And we are very, very, very capable. We're very able. Let's commit, let's re-energize, and let's re-engage and redouble our efforts. Comrades, we can do it. Let's do it. Thank you very much. I yield the mic, comrade. Thank you.
Yeah, Brother Joe, I knew wisdom was coming. It's true that because we have seen, I remember in Nambole, the people were so bold with protest placards just recently, like 2 weeks ago. That has never happened before. And then the independence, there were no presidents that came to commemorate that independence with. Only one president came. It has never happened before. So I agree with Joe. This is the time, and the dictator is weaker than ever. I think Dr. James has been having his hand up for a while. We don't want to have problems with Samias, so let's have him go next. Dr. James, are you still there? You had your hand up. Dr. James? Well, Dr. James, you should be able to unmute. Let's pass on to Mimi while Dr. James prepares himself. Mimi, are you there? Are you able to unmute?
Did you give James the mic?
Yeah, I had passed the mic on to James.
Okay. Yeah, Mangeni, you hadn't.
You came in and went off.
It has. No, you had
Okay.
not. You had not unmuted me.
Oh, sorry.
And almost it's a repetition of what has been said. We are saying the same things, and we're repeating. Maybe it's for repetition so that people can learn. Yes, I did ask a question. I challenged everyone. I asked that who of you is in touch with his structure? Joe has repeated that. I think this morning I invited people from Busha. I saw the chief mobilizer of Busha. Nuke came, he has attended, he has gone. I'm sure maybe data, and Joe has repeated it. But like I said, for me, if you challenge everyone who is here, challenge yourself. How active is your structure, if you have any, in your district? You will find that they are not there. But the other thing I wanted to mention, which I'm very strong about, the video raises emotions. And if, as a trained medic, I'm not supposed to get that video. Not that I don't want to, but I'll approach it. I'm like a post-mortem. If we're doing a post-mortem of death, post-mortems inform medicine. So if we have brought this video to raise emotions, it informs us. We know how we are killed. How do we prevent being killed? Of course, one thing that is obvious is to solve the problem. Either eradicate the disease or put preventive measures. I have even requested Ugandan medics that can we look at gunshot or this thing they are doing against the people as an epidemic, and classify it as an epidemic in Uganda, which still has failed because medics are just not there. And there's one thing that that is the time factor. Mimi has talked about it. My dear, you just don't have time to do these things. Either we do it at once and solve, because like me, I've said now, I want to attend the inauguration of my house rep. Trump is inviting me to go to Washington to attend his inauguration. But like, you need the time. But I just don't want to attend. Mine is not attending. The other young man who asked a protest vote. A protest vote is, Biden is somebody we all agreed, or the people we know. But I'll say I will not vote you because you have not listened to Ugandans who are protesting every other day. I could have voted him if he had listened. But I said I wanted a platform. I want to get a different angle that will make me hard. Just look at it. I mean, it is practical. It is seen that I have a platform now. Although the guy who has won maybe is a devil, but at least now he has me there. And my interest is, give us what we have been asking you. The other man has failed to give us. And if you don't do it, then I'll even protest more. So as Ugandans, there's something that is missing. Joe and Mangen, you have just talked about football. You have just talked about the protest. The consistency. The other day we appeared for the Kabaka match. We protested very well. Yesterday there was a Cranes match. Now you want to tell him that people who attended the Cranes match are not the people who attended the Kabaka's match. Why was there no protest yesterday? For them, they went for the Cranes now and they look at it as a different thing, a different entity. So protests in that country are like the Kadodi dancers. But unless we go down in the nitty-gritty, and like I have said, even some things are just repeated. Do we know how many people are registered to vote for NUP? Can NUP produce his own registration, register to counter anywhere if you have been cheated? Then you are also able to see that at least we have this as this is what we do. Of course, that is what the youth vote showed us, that was a national one, but locally you got to mobilize structures. Do you register people? Can you say you had 903 or you were cheated? So if you are cheated, can you produce evidence of you are registered voter in Kisoro? So these are small things that we need to talk about seriously with the party. Which party is absent? Mangenimi, I will tell you point blank that I have spoken for that party, including being a chapter leader here, and then I just resigned. I got out of it because it doesn't work for me. I am somebody who needs change, and I know what change looks for. I know how to fight for it, and I'm fighting for it. And leadership is lonely after all. Leadership is lonely. Mangeni, I can put this in Sami and translate to the others. Hey, enough, ikenda no muhula. Hey, enough, ikenda no muhula. Enefa itambula nemukoka. That's in Uganda. The priest.
Leader.
Yes. Hey, enough, ikenda no muhula. Enefa itambula nemukoka. We are just being carried by that crowd. Kumbe watu fara kufa. Hey, enough, ikenda no muhula. Enefa itambula nemukoka. The fish that is destined for death flows with the stream. The fish that wants to survive will ask, where is this water coming from? Then it goes towards the source. I submit. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Yeah, those are challenges. Yeah, agreeable. I think Mimi, you should be able to come in.
Yes. Yes. Yeah, I'm just coming in because I wanted just to say one thing, and especially maybe maybe I should also speak in Luganda. Anytime omuntu yenna bw'alijja n'akusaba ndagamuntu yo n'agamba nti kwata ssente akalulu kampe mpe information ya ndagamuntu yo, that ndagamuntu basobola ogikozesa wonna ngeri ki gye baagalamu. Basobola ogiwa omuntu omulala, jjukira eno gavumenti esobola okubisaamu okitegeera ate gwe tolikimanya. Kati bino bye tugamba nti nno okay, let's register. Bw'obanga ndagamuntu yo waliwo omuntu eyali agikusabyeko ng'akuwa ssente, ng'akuwa sukaali, ng'akuwa t-shirt, endagamuntu ye ekozesebwa awantu awalala. Kaakati bannayuganda mulina okukitegeera. Never give your ndagamuntu to anybody olw'okuba akuwadde ssente. Okitegeera. Endagamuntu by'ebizibu bino bye tuyina. By'ebizibu bino bye tuyina mu election kubanga they are going to pre-vote these bululu. Babeere nga already babugira kubanga endagamuntu yo already information bagirina. Bannange bannayuganda kyekyo ekintu kye muyina okugira. Don't just mobilize people without telling them the important things. Nti bannange temusobola kuwaayo ndagamuntu yo, omuntu yonna atagikusaabanga kubanga egenda kukozesebwa. Okitegeera nga tomanyi. Kakati byebyo ebimu mobilize but also teach the people. Ekirala ekisembayo bannange abantu abali mu gundi, abantu bano betugamba ku ground ogenda beetaaga obuyambi. Ba diaspora tetusirika. It's not just enough for you to keep quiet and tell people go on the ground without helping them. They need help. Ogenda mu byali eyo, ogenda okumebereza, beetaaga sente, beetaaga airtime, beetaaga ebintu bino. Bannange diaspora, let us not keep quiet. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much, guys. Yeah, some of the things we'll have to leave them for another, it's a topic for another day. I know we do need the mobilization and yeah, so today we are talking about the memory, the memory of those that we lost, okay? And of course, should serve as a rallying cry for justice, yeah, and change. Yes, so of course,
and Docas,
and do falls in.
Docas, sorry for the interruption. Just before I forget, in line with what you're saying, Secretary Blinken just this week came out and joined the people who are demanding justice for the people in Kenya who disappeared during protests. He came out clearly, publicly, and put his voice along. Why is the United States being selective? Why is he not talking about the people who are disappeared in Uganda, those who are being abducted, tortured, civilians tried under military court? With this theme, I think we also need to call on the US. And Mugeni Ruhumbulira, Mugeni, talk to your representative. Kenya is, it is good. They have done that for Kenya. They are demanding the victims who are killed during the protests and those who disappeared. We also need to hear the same voice for our fellow Ugandans who are killed in broad daylight. We need justice. We need to know exactly. And as Museveni, who was presiding over that, he needs to be held accountable. Yeah, sorry for the interruption. Go ahead.
Oh, no, that's fine. Yeah, so I really hope that people have been able to carry a message from this online memorial Zoom. So I do hope that we're able to support people on ground. And of course, there are people in the diaspora as well that need encouragement, support, and we do need to mobilize on ground in the diaspora. But what are we doing? Are we gathering our evidences? Are we just talking? Let us not just talk, but let us have evidence, because as we go out there, we just don't want to tell them stories. We want to back up everything with evidence. All these November massacre, you know, we have the pictures, we have the images, we have the stories. Let us compile these things and go out there with the evidence. Let us educate our people. Let them know their rights, you know, and they should know what an election should be like. You know, that wasn't an election. Those were, it was state sponsored, of course, state sanctioned violence or sponsored violence. So let us not let people get killed whilst we watch. So how we must advocate for investigations, you know, and of course, hold that dictator, that murderer, the perpetrator of the crimes accountable, him and his team, you know. So let us not just talk about the people that are gone, but let us have a clear plan of how to prevent the coming trouble that is ahead of us, you know. Yeah, so this is where the mobilization comes in, and you've had our comrades, Joe, James, and everyone that, you know. Yeah, so we'll be taking just closing remarks, maybe a minute or so, please, guys, and then we close because we've overstretched. Thanks for coming to honor our brothers and sisters. Yes, shall we hear from you? I think we did, Comrade Godfrey. I don't know if you've dropped. Where is Godfrey? Okay.
I see Mimi is back. I see my guy has been there for a while.
Comrade Godfrey dropped. Okay. Maiga, you have just 1 minute, please. And then everybody else a minute, and then we close. Thank you.
Omuyanzanyo neyanzeege eddakiika gy'ompadde okusookera ddala ngenda kwebaza buli ssekinoomu abali mu diaspora bonna wawangaalira kubanga musobodde okutukwatirako nga balina obwetaavu n'okusapootinga buli kimu ekigenda mu maaso okuyamba ku baana ababasibe n'abo ababuzibwawo. Manyi nti maanyi gammwe mwebali nnyo mwebali ddala. Ekinkomezaawo nzize wano okwebaza buli ssekinoomu asobodde okunkwatirako mu mbeera eno gye mpitamu. Abasinga obungi ku mmwe mugimanyi era abamu ku mmwe munsapootinze neyanzanyo neyanzeege. Naye nsaba nyongera okusaba okuyambibwako kubanga obwetaavu nkyalina bungi. Nsaba buli omu alina konna k'alina mu bunene bwakyo oba mu butono bwakyo, n'oyo yennyini asobodde okumpeereza essaala n'okweza Uganda yonna okusaba oba okusaba essaala. Mwebale nnyo mwebali eddala. Kwe kusaba kwange ninamu obwetaavu neyanzanyo neyanzeege.
Thank you. Thank you so much, brother. And yes, that call will be on another day. Yes, thank you. Sister Demi, you have a minute in closing. After you. Yes, please.
Kale, byebyo andowooza mubiwulidde. Munnayuganda wenna oli muganda wange kimanye ensi yaffe erina ebbanja, eggwanga lyaffe lirina ebbanja lye tulina okusasula ffe nga litubanja okutereeza okujjako Nakyemali wajja kujja ne Museveni okulanga bannayuganda ensi yaabwe baginyumira bagyeyagaliramu babeere mu nsi ennungi. Buli omu gyekkiriza muntu wano nsobola okuba kyenjagala kyonna, nsobola okufuuka kyenjagala okufuuka nga sirina nawamu wannemesa naye olwokuba nti gavumenti ya Museveni abeera omufu buli muntu bapanga ebintu ebiggwawo buli kye bakola tekigenda mu maaso lwakuba nti enkola za gavumenti mbi nnyo nnyini ddala. Kati nno tugambe nti nno ffe buvunaanyizibwa bwaffe okutaasa Uganda yaffe. Mukama bankuumire.